Waturanga tuki na vanua kumuna wana turanga barana unival na tukam sa waturanga talchunga ina nungulom ni barin nanti kek na lomani usarandave baulo mani koro sa ndambe juk na marama PS Waterways muni tambani Waterways apa turang tala na banua turun basanga na marambal na road to the gates turang na unival ina matintu biwakan na tawat Tomanda na nunggu wawini nakaleu nakana nanumi me wadur yanduan na vital wana marama PS sana dengu na singapore wawini nakatalchunga kina nomuni sulia nomuni yau kena kemuni na memuni we kemuni na leo ni matadagalak ana lomba ni tamadala ni titi kena Waterways au tu daqui tu na akabini kuwa me musunda wana maramana na piesa usa Rabu tau cimai na nonra vanua era rabu tu making. To those of you who may not understand what I have just said, I have acknowledged the vanua from which the Madam PS or the former PS Waterways hails from, which is something that we as a people are always proud of, to be known as to where you're from. I also acknowledge the Permanent Secretary for Agriculture and Waterways, who is now the acting Permanent Secretary for Agriculture and Waterways, and the members of the staff for organizing an event such as this and for giving out of your good hearts and willing hearts for an occasion that may not seem to be a happy one, but if you really analyze what is going to happen, a window of opportunity has opened up for the Madam PS. Even though one door has closed, a new door has opened. And this is where I want to dwell my address upon, that no one is indispensable amongst any of us. This is not a permanent home for any of us. We will be here today. Tomorrow, you may be told to leave, or you may find new opportunities. And for that, we must all prepare ourselves. On the windows of opportunities, I think it takes a person with a lot of guts to make the choice to leave one's comfort zone and move to greener pastures, or move to an available opportunity. And that requires not only guts, but also your confidence in your capability or your capabilities. And to know oneself as having what it takes to meet whatever may come across you. A number of us had made the choice. The PS that's sitting there is one who made the choice. He left the ministry, went out, furthered his studies, and came back. I went out in 2019 not knowing what to expect, but I knew I had what it takes to go out and that I will survive. And I have come back as your minister. These are the kinds of stories that we will tell to try and inspire each and every one of us. Should you come to that valley of decision, I think it is always good to assess oneself and how you have developed yourself while you have worked or you have forged your career in any organization you may be a part of, for that matter. It is always good to take stock of how far you've gone in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your experience, in terms of your self-development, and whether you have what it takes to meet the challenges of life, should you be given the choice, or should you make the choice to leave an organization and venture out for new opportunities. And for that, I must commend the Madam former PS Waterways for accepting the decision to forfeit her position and for welcoming a new opportunity that has come her way, knowing fully well her own capabilities to meet the new challenges that she will come across. And I know that she deserves the new position that she is going to, because having worked with her for the last 3 months, I have nothing but praise for her capabilities, not only as a leader, but as a workaholic when it comes to achieving what I set out for her to do. And I hope that these kind of sentiments can be said about each and every one of us when we leave any organization, for that matter. Having said that, madam, I wish you all the best. And I know you will do well in your new position. I was at your new office last night, having grog with the chiefs of Lau. They went to break the doors and the windows of your new office because Conservation International is an integral part of the Lau Seascape Initiative. So I look forward to working with you on that end, and I wish you nothing but the best in your future, for you and the family Pinaka.
Au wakatatamo saka, kina matin tu koviti. Ena nonra tiko saka na tura lilu ni matin tu, na gorba rua buah saka na tu inabatu. Indam saka taltingna na tura minista. Ni tambani tete vat kina waterways. Kina nomuni vono saka. Na ulu watu wana wan turang na tuibono. Kina nonra wanua takatalanga na turanga assistant minister. Dina ni seni tigo rawa tikikenda na kavina kendindai. Kina nonra wanua. Rakau ni tambua. Wasa na turanga na tuimbu. Minda besa kataltinga na bitokan. Wakadakadaka. Dama bisa tarik sakatiko na kavina kendindai. O ira saka ratiko wakatalaki na rasena ni tikora. O wakatatam sakatiko na kunibe indalan bure o dabang baleta sakatiko na kavina kendindai. E na buku saka ni nongu matabubani. E na buku saka ni nongu wanua. E na yang no dabu talanga na wawin winak. E na kena sa may taksobirawa. E tol saka na hula ni wingarabi. Na kadi ni matintu. Ka wawin winak. E na buku saka ni kena nuindi itu na matintu. Nona wali wala na turang minista. Meron bo na numa. Mendo saka na nongu yang. E na buku ni kena wator da kita kena nonda hunua. No nonda kawa kena nonda yobulu. A kabisa ka ndindai. Au dobu tsakatali. Na nongu wawin winak leo. E na buku ni nuindi saka tingo na turang minista. Membo me yang vato ka na una leka ni bikri kina matintu. O dabuta na nongo ba vinaka. O dabuta na nongo ba malo. Na ka vinaka ndendai. Sawa sakaya bikinle. The Honorable Minister, Permanent Secretary, Agriculture and Waterways, Senior Executives of the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways, I am delighted to have had the opportunity to stand before you this eve, and I see the preparations that have been done is nothing short but befitting of those that have done so much for the agriculture and waterway sector. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for the opportunity to be graced with the preparations that you have set this afternoon. Yesterday was officially my 3rd month post-signing my position as Permanent Secretary, Waterways and Environment. On the 28th of February came the end of my mandate to operate within the environment portfolio. And I'm thankful that today is also the day that I end my term as Permanent Secretary for Waterways. For those that probably are not too familiar with the work that I have come through, I was welcomed on the 15th of December 2022 to take up the PS position. And before I entered the gates of Bali Tower, I told the staff during the welcome, many of you have probably heard many recollections of what your new incoming PS was. But so I decided to take the opportunity to tell them from the horse's mouth who Siqila-Lakeba was. I started in the Ministry of Fisheries as a civil servant in 2003 as a project officer based out of Ngaloa in the province of Selua. Along the way, I became confirmed into a permanent fisheries assistant position. I'm happy that I've come to know that I also followed a bit in terms of Honorable Minister's footsteps. I also worked in Andurlolo as the officer in charge for fisheries. Within 15 years, I became the first appointed female Fiji Fisheries Director, where I took up the position across the many challenges in dialogue between tuna, aquaculture, you name it. I'm well aware of it. Then I took a bit of a moment to reflect. And as I picked up my CV, the first interpretation that I did was, a prospective employer would say, well, this applicant has been sheltered all her professional life. That was my interpretation. I had been in government for 18 years, and my interpretation was that a prospective employer would say that I was too sheltered. Why would I say that? My budget is set, I have a workforce complement, I have a plan that is set, I just execute. So I started to build resilience into my career journey. So from government, I decided where best to go but to non-government. So on 4th Jan 2020 began my career as an NGO. It felt like it was the starting of a whole new journey. New skill sets, new networking, new systems, new everything. After 23 months as an NGO, government thought it fit to call me back for national duty. My current employer then said, "You are looking after Pacific fisheries. You have still a lot of work to do in addition to the Fiji Country Program." My response to them and also to the panel that from KPNG that interviewed me was, in all my years of service, in all the discussions of what sustainability was, my definition of sustainability and legacy is, if I can make a change in law or policy, it will remain and it is a generational impact. That was my interpretation. A project has a term life. As a staff on active duty, I have a term life. But if I have the opportunity to influence law, make law, amend policy, that was my definition of a generational impact. Hence all the reason why I took up the national calling, to come back to government. Within 3 months, I entered the gates in Bali Tower. My first thought was, I'm sure the staff are thinking, who on earth is this female who has no idea of what drainage is, who has no idea on what flood and dredging is taking up the leadership call for PS. I came willingly because I am a servant of the nation. And I have told the team Waterways and Environment in my very short time, there is no higher calling of any citizen than the call to serve our nation. And I came in as totally nothing, but now I know what a cofferdam is. I told the team, now I know exactly what drainage schemes are, irrigation schemes are. In the recent few weeks, I have also come to know a little bit about agriculture. And whilst it was brief, I depart with a lot of rich knowledge. I also depart with a lot of networking that will value add my professional career. So this afternoon, I wanted to firstly acknowledge, with all recognition, thank the Honourable Minister. Thank you, sir, for having the faith to retain me as your PS, a non-technical agriculture and waterways person. Your faith has continued to boost my morale and to motivate me to support your office and to protect the integrity of your office in executing the plans for waterways in the very short 3 months that I have come to stay. I am indebted to your support and that of the Assistant Minister, and please, I hope that you continue for your continued support even beyond the gates of Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways. PS Agriculture and Waterways, thank you for your comradeship. Thank you for your guidance and your advice. Thank you for the quick fiber guidance that you've always given me. And of course, I extend that appreciation to all of the team. I started in Waterways without a deputy secretary, without a director. In 3 months, I had to make sense of the plan, I had to execute it, and I had to continue the business affairs of government within the sectors that I had to look. And I attribute all of this to the fantastic team of Environment and Waterways operations team. Those that are based in headquarters, but even more so, those that are based out in the divisions. Our Luvu team are here. We did not have the opportunity for me to say thank you to Western and Northern team. So what I was doing in the course of the last few days is just before 10 o'clock, I would Viber call everyone. So everyone with their cup of tea, myself with my cup of tea, and just saying my goodbyes. And say maybe we will come across our paths again in the future, but thank you for your continued support. Colleagues, this afternoon, I want to say thank you to everyone. To the agriculture team, I have not been as fortunate to have met you and to know a little bit more about you, but thank you for your smiles and thank you for your welcoming gestures at just meeting in Raiwaqa. I almost got lost the first day just trying to make my way across the Raiwaqa headquarters office, so thank you everyone. This afternoon I don't have much to say, but I am privileged to now have 3 months stint with the heartbeat of Fiji, agriculture sector. This is Fiji's heartbeat. This is Fiji's backyard, but I feel that it is also, beyond COVID, this has really been our sustenance in terms of agriculture sector. Thank you for the opportunity to come and learn. Thank you to share with you, and I wish everyone the best and blessings as you continue to wrap this FY. I stand ready to come back for any national calling, but even more importantly, beyond today, you have one extended arm of network that I can assure you that I am here to continue to support throughout our professional careers. Before I take my seat, I also wish to take this opportunity to say, forgive me if I have any shortcomings. Honorable Minister Sir, to the executive leadership team, and also to anyone that I have come across, I only wish you well, good health, abundance and peace as you continue to execute your active duty. I tell myself this is me in active duty. And I tell the whole team of Waterways in Operations, the biggest regret you can have, is when you do not do what you're supposed to do whilst on active duty. I hope that we will continue to engage in the coming days, and I thank you for your kind attention. God bless. Vinaksalwale.